Hey everyone, and welcome back to Linguist Rising. I am so glad you're here. You've been putting in the work, and today we're going to tackle Unit 10 of Alif together. This unit has some really cool, fascinating details about the Arabic script.
You've built such a strong foundation over the last 9 units. You should be really proud of that. And now we get to add some of the finer, more artistic details of the language. Think of this unit as adding the beautiful, final decorative touches to the house you've been building.
So here's our game plan for today. First up, we're going to cover 2 new ways to spell the Alif. Then, we'll decode a really key feature of formal Arabic called tanween. After that, we're going to zoom out a little and appreciate the actual art and history of the script itself. And finally, we'll bring it all home with some reading practice. Sound good? Let's do this.
Okay, let's get right into it. We're starting with 2 pretty special ways to write the Alif sound. And what's important is that both of these deal with how Alif can show up at the very end of a word, which, as you know, happens all the time.
First up is the Alif Maksura. Now listen, if you only remember one thing from this part, make it this. It is pronounced exactly like a regular Alif. It still makes that long ah sound. So even though it looks totally different, the sound is identical. That is the most crucial point. And here's the cool part, the visual trick to remembering it. The Alif Matsura looks identical to the letter Ya when it's at the end of a word. But, and this is the whole secret, it has no dots underneath. That's it. That's how you can instantly tell them apart. It's got the body of a Ya, but the voice of an Alif.
So the big question is, when do you use it? Well, this slide breaks it down perfectly. As a general rule, a regular Alif is often used at the end of words that aren't originally Arabic, like America for America. But for a ton of core Arabic words, especially those little prepositions like ale, an, and ila, to, you're going to use the Alif Maksura. And remember, it only ever shows up at the very end of a word.
Now, the other new spelling is way simpler. It's called the dagger Alif. And really, it's just this tiny little vertical dash that you write over a consonant. You can kind of think of it as a shorthand, a space saver for a regular Alif. It still makes that same long ah sound, it just takes up less room. You'll see it in a few common words, but it's not nearly as common as the Alif Maksura.
All right, let's switch gears to our next topic, tanween. Now, this is something you're almost exclusively going to find in formal or literary Arabic. We're talking news articles, classic literature, and religious texts. It's a grammatical feature that adds this whole other layer of richness to the language.
So I bet you've seen this before, right? You're reading something, and you see what looks like a doubled-up short vowel sitting at the end of a word, and you've probably thought, huh? What in the world is that? Well, that's tanween, and we are about to unlock that mystery right now.
Tanween basically comes in 3 flavors, and this table lays them out so clearly. If you see 2 dhammas, that's tanween al-dam, and you add an un sound to the end of the word. 2 fathas, that's tanween al-fath, and it adds an un sound. And you guessed it, 2 kasras is tanween al-kasr, which adds an n sound. It's that simple. You're really just adding an n sound to the end of the short vowel. But tanween isn't just some dry grammar rule. No way. As the textbook points out, it plays this huge artistic role. These un, an, and in endings give the language this incredible musicality and flow. It's a huge reason why poetry and recitations of the Quran sound so rhythmic and beautiful when you hear them spoken aloud.
Okay, so we've looked at some of these tiny specific symbols. Now I want us to zoom all the way out, because you can't really learn these details without appreciating the incredible history behind the Arabic script itself and how it evolved into the absolutely beautiful art form it is today.
This timeline really puts it all into perspective. Just think about this. The script came from Aramaic, and for hundreds of years, it was way more basic. The earliest copies of the Quran, for example, had no dots. Can you imagine? A ba, a ta, and a tha would have all looked identical, and there were no short vowel markings. It wasn't until later that those crucial dots and vowel signs were added, which completely changed the game, making the script so much clearer for everyone.
And this right here, this is where all that evolution led. The Arabic script didn't just become functional, it became a powerful art form. Calligraphy is one of the most respected arts in the Arab and Islamic worlds. I mean, just look at this stunning example on the screen of the phrase, the Arabic language. The letters themselves create the design. It's communication and pure art all rolled into one.
All right, we've covered new letters, we've covered formal endings, and we've covered the history. Now for the most important part. Let's actually put it all into practice. It's your turn to apply everything you've just learned and really make it stick.
Okay, so on this slide, you can see a few phrases written in fully vocalized formal Arabic. And yes,
They include the tanween endings we just talked about. I want you to literally pause the explainer right now and try reading each one out loud. Seriously, don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on applying the rules and sounding it out. Go on, give it a try.
So, let's do a super quick recap of everything you've accomplished today. The main takeaways are, you can now identify and correctly read Alif Maksura, you can recognize the three forms of tanween and know that they belong to formal Arabic, and finally, you have this amazing new appreciation for the long and fascinating history of the script itself.
And that brings us to the end of Unit 10. You know, as a final thought, I'm genuinely curious. After learning about its history and all its artistic forms, what part of the Arabic script do you personally find the most beautiful or interesting? Is it the elegance of calligraphy, the way the letters connect, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments below. You did fantastic work today, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.